Now, of course, shooting interviews isn't just about lighting. You've got to be able to hear your contributors as well. Now, what we've done here is we've come to this lovely little library. Now, we can't shoot this side because all the sun is blasting through the window, and that's causing us problems. Now, what it's actually giving us is a very nice natural looking light here on David. Now, if I wanted to, I could put a daylight balance onto this, and that, to be honest, would be a pretty interesting looking shot. But this is not really primarily about the lighting. I want to talk about audio. So using my KinoFlow here, I've got 4 tungsten tubes. My camera is set to tungsten 3200, and what happens is the tungsten tubes are powerful enough to cut through the daylight blue and illuminate David's face, and it looks like, you know, it's the right color. But as I say, what I want to talk to you now is audio. So that's that shot. There are several ways in which we can record audio. Now, the first one is using a lapel mic. Now, this one is a Sanken Cause 11. Now, this is not cheap. This cost me over 350 English pounds. So you're looking at about $500, but it is a very, very high quality microphone. And in situations like this with sit-down interviews, it's a great way to record sound. Now, what you have to do is explain to David, I've got this microphone I just need to put on you. But what I'd like you to do is if you can pass that up through the bottom of your shirt and bring it out just at the top there. It's always worth getting the contributor to do this themselves because you're invading their personal space, thank you. And then what I'm going to do, there's great debate about whether or not you should put a personal mic facing down or facing up. In actual fact, they're omnidirectional, which means they pick up sound from all around. But when I was trained at the BBC, we were taught to face it down because it just takes some of the resonance out of the S's when they're spoken, and so you can point them downwards. Now, what we do is we just clip this onto David's shirt, so that mic sits there. That's a personal mic, and it's a really nice sounding mic, but in certain situations you don't want to see the mic in vision, and in that case you would want to use a gun mic. Now, this is a gun mic without any wind protection on it. You often see them with the softy mounts. This is a directional gun mic, and what we actually want to do is get this mic pointing about here so we can get great room ambience, because these mics tend to pick up or muffle a lot of the sound because the human body dampens down some of that sound. In actual fact, what we want to do is get this so we get some room audio. So what we do, we take our boom pole and our S.C.A.L.E mount from Rycote, and we clip this on to here. These mics are very sensitive to handling noise, and so by holding them in your hand you get lots of handling noise. This is a shock mount, and what this does is it takes out some of that handling noise. We put this Velcro on here, and then obviously if we had a boom operator, we could just literally hold that boom like so, or seeing as we're working on our own, we use a lighting stand. And what we do is we put a simple, this is a Matthews clamp, but Matthews and Manfrotto make them, it's a K clamp, and they put this on the lighting stand itself. This just pops on like so. Lock that off there. Turn it so that the horizontal axis of the boom pole is sitting over the leg, like down there. So the weight is going over the leg. And then we simply open this up and gently but firmly, because you don't want to damage the pole, just hold that in place. And then what we do is we raise the stand up. And I want to just demonstrate why the pole has to go over a leg, because if you don't, it can risk falling over. And so the simple way to get around this is make sure the weight is over the pole, and then that way it can't damage your contributor. Because you do have a duty of care to your contributors not to whack them in the heads with poles. Now, just before I go on, Some of you might be thinking, why aren't you using a radio mic? Well, I have a radio mic here, and that plugs into, again, another lapel mic here. Radio mics are great, however, you do get problems with RF interference, even in rooms like this. And so my advice to you is rather than use a radio mic, just whenever possible, use a cabled mic, because you're removing an element that can go wrong from the process. So only use radio mics when you want to shoot a shot when it's outdoors, or it can be indoors, but you want to be a distance away from your subject. And then finally, a good pair of headphones. Now, people often say to me, television equipment is so expensive. These were probably £120. Oh, that's the kind of going rate. It'd be $180. I've had these for over 10 years. They're Sennheiser HD25s, and they are what's called closed cup headphones. So they have, when they go over your ears, they eliminate a lot of the noise from the room, which allows you to really focus on the sound you're recording. So next thing, of course, is to plug our headphones into our camera and have a listen to the audio. So right away, I can hear that as David moves, maybe David just move around a bit for us. Because David has a hairy chest, the hair rubs on his shirt and makes that sound unusable. So what we're finding in that situation is we wouldn't be able to use that sound. Now that's taken me seconds to establish. So Dave, what I'm going to do is ask you just to drop that back down, because we could spend a bit of time finding a different place to put the mic, but in actual fact, my experience tells me that it's just going to cause all sorts of problems during the interview. And so we'll just leave that mic out of the equation and we'll just record sounds using the gun mic. So, David, just could you talk to Rhiannon and tell her how your journey was today?
Hi, Rhiannon. We had a very pleasant journey today, thank you. It was warm, pleasantly sunny outside.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so all I need to do now is just have a listen to that sound. I want to make sure I'm getting the right quality and clarity of voice, and that happens because I want to get that mic. As David speaks up here, the voice travels upwards. So I want to get this in a position just a little front of his voice, and then I want to make sure I've got enough level. And once again, please, David.
Hi, Rhiannon. Did you drive here today?
I came busy actually today.
Did you? Very nice too. And a pleasant journey in the sunshine.
It was lovely day actually this morning. It was fine.
It's very nice, isn't it? One of the hottest days so far.
It is, yes.
Perfect. And then all I need to do is manually adjust the audio level. And just one more time, please, David.
Hi, Rhiannon. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
That's lovely. So, one piece of advice when you're recording audio on camera, the cameras were set to auto there, which is okay in a room like this because actually you've got a lot of control of the sound. But if there's a sudden noise, that could spike up. And so in a controlled environment, in fact, I advocate whenever possible, record using your manual controls, and you want to be leveling so that you never hit the red bar. You want to get close to it but never hit it. And most modern cameras have an audio limiter built in, and so you can switch that on, engage that, and you'll never distort your audio. Distorting your audio is when you put too much input signal into the camera and it goes or it just distorts the voice in another way, and you can't repair that in post-production. It's a bit like blowing your highlights when you're recording. You can't get that information back. So it's very important when you're monitoring your sound that you don't have any distortion. And that's really a simple guide to recording audio. Audio is not complex. It's about choosing your tool, deciding which is the most appropriate tool, listening for what the audio is happening in the room. We're very fortunate, we're in the middle of nowhere here. Even though there's a busy road outside, none of that sound is causing any distraction. Remember, your job as a sound recorder in this position is to get clear audio that is not got any distractions or any noises that are causing you to wander off from what this person is saying. And then that's all there is to it. Monitor your audio, listen to it, And if you do have a problem, stop the interview, solve the problem, and start again.